Good morning. How are you doing? This is a last resort. What I've done is I don't know whether you caught me when I went live. One of the three times I've tried to go live this morning, and the first time in a long time, which I'll tell you about. And it's kind of like the first time I've tried to go live in ages, and for some reason the internet is just like it's not playing ball with me at all. And it was all glitchy, and it dropped out eventually when I kind of watched it back. I kind of terminated the thing. Anyway, here I am on the Self Care Shorts channel, which is everything you might want to know about self care. You might argue. So here I am, and talking to you, having not spoken to you in a long time. And what I'm doing is I normally go live, but as I've just said, that was glitchy, so I'm recording this now. I've gone into QuickTime. I'm going to record it and then just upload it because that seems to make it easier. And yeah, what I've noticed is the picture definition's a lot better. I might start doing it like this. But anyway, there you go. So it's nice to be here. And the thing that struck me as I was deciding to go live this morning, deciding to do one of these little what is now a recording for you, was what struck me, what was bewildering, was that I've decided to do this in what is the busiest week that I'm having in an awful long time. So my job as a lecturer at the university, at Sunderland University. I have, don't get me wrong, I do graft, but I have a bit of a down kind of dip in my kind of workload calendar across kind of July, August, preparing for next year, which is kind of the academic year we're now in, which is quite nice. So it's not intense, you can just have a nice pace to it, and that'll be the perfect time. That'll be the perfect time to do this every morning. Possibly I've probably got time to do that. And here I am in the busiest week, or one of the busiest weeks in the academic calendar, induction week, when we're welcoming new students in and welcoming current students back. Here I am, waking up this morning, walking the dog, thinking, do you know what? I think I'll do a live this morning. I think I'll do one of them. Why? And it struck me as an interesting thing to kind of talk about in terms of motivation. And when do we feel motivated? And the bizarre thing is that I find, and I think there's a sweet spot for this, is we feel motivated to do things when we're already doing other things. And the research or the people that comment on this a lot, I'll say that the best way when you're not feeling motivated to get yourself motivated is simply to do something. And that really resonates with me, because here I am with lots to do, thinking, I could do that as well. I've got a quarter of an hour this morning, although this has gone completely Pete Tong, because I started doing this at 8 o'clock, and here I am now recording it rather than doing it live at 8:45. But anyway, what's interesting with that is at every hurdle there, I had to reboot my machine because I thought that was maybe the problem. I had to check to make sure I wasn't trying to upload loads of stuff, stuff wasn't syncing with my kind of cloud storage. Checked all of that. I had to figure out how to log into my Shorts Media, Self-Care Shorts YouTube account, because I haven't done that for a while. So I'm doing all of these things. All of these things are obstacles that are in the way of wanting to do something. Yet here I am with lots to do today, loads to do, still doing it. And there's something about being motivated to do something fuels motivation to do other things. And like I said, the motivation literature will say if you're not feeling motivated, the best way to motivate yourself is just to do something. And it's my friend Pete's favourite analogy, which is the one press up thing, which is the story goes, and I don't know whether it's an allegorical tale from the internet, and I've mentioned it many times before, or whether it's actually a true story, is that this guy wants to get fit, and he can't motivate himself to go to the gym or get fit or do anything he needs to do to get fit, and he decides that he'll set himself the target of doing one press up, and he gets down on the floor, does one press up, and then thinks, well, I'm here. I might as well do another 5 or 6. And while I'm here, I might as well do some crunches or whatever. So on he goes. And doing one thing motivates him to do other things. So here I am thinking, well, I tell you what. And I'm even thinking that I'll probably do maybe a social work short one of these, because as you maybe know, I do those kind of things as well. So really interesting how motivation works. And we might kind of talk about that as we go further on. I've been thinking about happiness a lot. Well, you know that I think about happiness a lot, because it's I think it's a real kind of it's a real fascinating area, isn't it? We're all striving to be happy, and over the summer there was a TikTok or Instagram reel around that I saw. It's maybe been around for years. I don't know. Maybe I've just caught up with it. Jimmy Carr, the comedian, talking about the fact that we live in a time where objectively we have all the things you would expect that we would need to make us happy, yet subjectively we're at our least happiest, or we appear to be throughout history, although we don't know how happy or unhappy people in 1910 were, or 1840 or whatever, I suppose. But he makes the point that there's no reason for us to be not happy with our lot, because our wealth is way beyond the wealth that the majority of people had 100 years ago, or the opportunities we have, or the access to things that we have is way beyond that for the vast majority of us. There are people living in poverty. We need to deal with poverty. Kia's going to do that. But many of us, the vast majority of us who are in the kind of middle of those income levels, of those kind of wealth kind of levels in various ways, why have we got this unhappiness? And so I started digging around, because I was kind of preparing a lecture for this as well, and I started digging around with this just to see what I could find out. And social scientists define happiness in a few ways, and here's some of them. Happiness can be defined, I really like this one, happiness can be defined as a sense of being happy in your life and with your life. Happiness can be defined as a sense of being happy in your life and with your life. And those are two different things, aren't they? So happy with your life, I think, is about big picture thinking. What do you think your life should be? What gives your life meaning? Goodness, we've talked about that many times before. What gives your life meaning? Because that's what our happiness is rooted in. So that big picture stuff, but then also being happy in your life, in the kind of day-to-day kind of things that you are doing. And I think that's the secret. How do you gain happiness from the mundane, from the ordinary? And I think that's rooted in meaning as well. Why am I doing this thing? What is it? What meaning does it have for me? And the meaning is an internal thing to you. So being happy involves satisfaction with life as a whole, not with kind of just what we're striving for. And there's this other thing called the arrival fallacy, which is really interesting. We're not happy right now because we think when we get to there, we think when we get that thing, we think when we achieve that goal. I don't know, I've got £500 in the bank, I've bought a new car, I've got a new pair of trousers, or whatever it happens to be, or I've got that promotion. We think we'll be happy when we arrive at that place. But we have to figure out how to be happy. How do we be happy now? And I think what drives that is a sense of reflection, is a sense of understanding the pleasure of being in the moment. Because the reason we stop appreciating the kind of routine and the mundane and the ordinary, going back to Jimmy Carr, he talks about the delight and pleasure of having a hot shower. Really fascinating. And the thing that occurs is a thing called hedonic adaptation, which means things that are wonderful experiences, the hot shower, for example, the taste of that first cup of coffee, we stop appreciating them because they just become the routine and the ordinary. So we need to gain pleasure from the moment, gain pleasure from the small and the insignificant things, or the things that appear to us to be small and insignificant. The shower, the cup of coffee, that first bite of the peanut butter on toast, whatever. We need to start appreciating those things, I think. And being driven by an understanding that those things are really positive, and that some people now, less people now than years ago, but some people now still, and many, many people years ago, didn't have those simple things. I read a book over the summer, James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room, and I think written about kind of life in the 1940s. I think it doesn't actually say that in the book, but that's what it feels like. So I could check that out. But the two main guys in that book, are wondering when they're going to eat next. Most of us, I know some people have that issue to contend with, but most of us don't. And it's accepting that, isn't it, and understanding the pleasure and the delight and the privilege that gives us. Because I'm talking, when I say just a few of us, I'm talking about our part of the world, but in many parts of the world, people don't have that privilege and that pleasure and that delight. So let's capture those moments. Let's capture those small moments. Let's capture those things that have become routine for us. And let's just pause as we do them and gain pleasure from it. And I reckon that's where our happiness is rooted. So anyway, have a good day. Hopefully my internet will sort itself out and I can just do this live. But I'm going to go and I'm uploading this right now. Well, I'm not, because if you're watching it, it's already uploaded. But you know where I'm coming from. If you can, go and have a look at the website, shortsmedia.org. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I don't do, here's the thing, I don't do Twitter and Facebook anymore. That was a thing over the summer. So I've decided not to do that anymore. So you won't find me in those places, but you will find me on Instagram. You will find me on Patreon, patreon.com/ that way, whatever that one is, Stephen J. Mordew, all one word. And you find me on Instagram at SJ Mordew, and there are some links down below. Please, the best thing you can do for me, the greatest thing you can do for me on the YouTube channel and in other places, is subscribe or follow. It's all, it doesn't cost you anything. It's a few clicks to do it. There is a paid Patreon layer, but most of the stuff I do goes on the free layer. Go and sign up to that, and we'll keep in touch, and that's brilliant. And thank you very much for having a listen to what I've got to say. Take care. Have good days.